channel. I will be your K-drama queen for today. And before we begin this review, I just want to give a quick shout out to Viki.com, which is a place where I watch all my dramas. I mentioned in one of my previous reviews that Viki.com actually came out with a new feature, which is called the Learn Mode, and it is meant to help you and I to actually learn Korean as we're watching our favorite dramas. And this is how it works. So as you can see, Viki provides a variety of subtitles in many different languages. If you do not have the Learn Mode turned on, all you're going to see are subtitles in your original language. That is it. But when you do turn the Learn Mode on, you will be able to see the original language, in this case Korean, appear above your language subtitles. From here on out, what you can do is hover over any word in the original language and you will be able to click on it, and the system will then translate that word into your own language. So whenever you're watching your dramas and you're just curious what your favorite characters are saying, you can turn on the Learn Mode, hover over the original language, and be able to see exactly what every single word in that sentence means. Quite useful, isn't it? Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into the review of this new hot spring drama filled with strength and superpowers and romance and cherry blossoms and crime and blood, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you watched 힘낳 여자, Bong, or Strong Woman, Bong. For those of you who hate spoilers, I'm just gonna put it out there that overall, I really enjoyed this drama. I'm not one to like overly romantic and cheesy dramas, but there was something about this one that just made me want to watch it episode after episode after episode. It was so addicting and it was very light as well, so I didn't have to, think too much, or it just didn't take a lot of brain power, so I could just kind of, lay back, relax, and enjoy whatever I was watching. So that was really great. I would probably rate it somewhere around 8 or 8.5 out of 10. It definitely fits great with the overall spring feeling and cherry blossoms and just that very light atmosphere that we're going through right now, moving away from winter, going into summer. It was very refreshing. With that said, da-da-dum, spoiler alert! All those of you who like to watch my reviews but you do not like to finish your dramas, go do your thing, go finish it, and then come back so we can have all the fun reviewing and dissecting this really awesome drama. Alright, so in terms of plot, you guys know how I have the first and the last episode benchmark, right? Well, this drama passed it, for sure. The first episode was very exciting. It hooked me completely. There was a great feeling of suspense at the end because we weren't really sure who was attacking An Dae-pyo, or is it the same guy who's kidnapping people? There was just so much kind of crime happening, but then at the same time there was like a love story already starting to develop, actually a love triangle straight away. They just threw it all in our face. So there was a lot of things I was looking forward to in the upcoming episodes. As for the last episode, I've read a lot of sentiments online where people weren't really happy about how fast the last episode was going. Like, bam, they started dating, time lapse to them getting married, time lapse to them having kids. It was just very fast paced, and people were saying like, oh, this is kind of very chopped and unnatural, and some people on the internet just weren't really happy about that. But in my case, I actually enjoyed it. I'm one of those people who, whenever a drama ends, I just always keep thinking what the life of the characters in this drama would be like in like 10, 20, 30 years. And it made me really happy to see that Bong and An Dae-pyo, they weren't just dating, they were actually serious about each other enough to get married, have kids, It was just a very happy ending, like as happy as it can get. And I'm a big sucker for happy endings, especially these types of happy endings. And the whole idea with the twin girls, man, that was so well done. That was so silly, but at the same time very cute. Now moving on into the actual bulk of the drama between the first and the last episode. Here, I do have a few comments. I felt like some storylines were kind of just dropped, and some characters, I know I'm getting into characters a little bit, but some of them just weren't really that necessary. The whole family of An Dae-pyo just wasn't really portrayed well in my eyes. I understand that they were trying to poke fun at like very wealthy Korean families, but to me it was a bit too cartoonish, like too much. It was also very predictable. The moment they introduced his entire family, it was way too obvious for me that it was gonna be the good brother who like acts all nice and always protects him that would kind of blackmail him, because the other brothers, if they openly don't like him, they're openly gonna tell him, we don't want you to inherit the company. It was just way too obvious. But then also this entire storyline just kind of dropped as soon as that was resolved. and it just moved on into the other crime-related stuff. I wish they would just kind of refer back to them later on in the drama so that we'd still remember that they still exist. Even though I'm literally just nitpicking really, really deeply into this drama and I really, really liked it overall, I just want to mention one more thing that kind of I'm still torn about even now that I've finished watching this drama, and that is I am so confused why I actually finished this drama. I'm not a fan of Korean rom-coms. I think they are overly innocent, they are overly fairy taleized. The love and romance in them is very superficial and it just gives me like goosebumps and it makes me go like bleh. Just not my cup of tea. And I was very, very worried going into this drama that it was just gonna be the same thing because the main characters in this drama are 27 years old. They are grown-up adults, yet they're being portrayed as like very, very young kids. They look very, very young. Both of them, I could easily give them 18 years old. I feel like this element of crime and this element of mystery and like all the other little plot lines that were intertwined within the plot really distracted me from how uncomfortable I would have felt if the entire drama just focused on the love line and the love triangle. Speaking of the love triangle, I want to move on to the characters, and man, I despise love triangles in dramas, and here are my 2 cents about love triangles. They're unfair, and I feel like they should not be idolized but kind of encouraged through dramas. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I find love triangles ridiculous because if you like someone, you tell them and then you get an answer and you're done. There should not be, I know that they exist, but I'm saying that there should not be these ideas like, oh, I'd rather stay friends so that we don't ruin our friendship. Oh, but I'm gonna secretly love them and make a lot of things awkward. Like, no, don't do that. If you have feelings, you communicate, you get an answer, and you move on, because life always moves on. So originally I actually really didn't like Gukdo's character. I thought he was really cowardly. I thought that he should have just told the Bong-soon that he likes her, or else he should not have been leading her on, because when you have a girlfriend, but then you go to your friend's house in the middle of the night and like make sure that she's okay, it's a bit weird to me. In my very conservative, old-fashioned view, I find it very disrespectful to the girlfriend, whom I also really didn't like. Oh, let me be dating this guy that I don't really like, but I'm just gonna date him for lols? People dating without liking each other is forever going to confuse the living life out of my mind. The Bong-soon's character, I was happy how they made her really, really strong. I wasn't necessarily happy how they had to make her very dumb. Like, oh, you can't be strong and smart. Like, no, that's impossible. Your brother is gonna be smart, but he's gonna be weak, and you're gonna be strong, and you're gonna be dumb. Okay, fine. The writers chose to do it that way. I guess they had reasons. In terms of An Dae-pyo, for my personal liking, he was a bit too unmasculine, but I once again understand that that was kind of supposed to be a counterbalance to how physically strong the Bong-soon was, so he kind of gets intimidated. But then at the same time, they tried to make him look very tough, where he would like do boxing and things like that, but then he just looks so skinny and fragile, and like he looks like I can actually physically just pick him up. Yes, he did look a bit bigger, but actually just a little bit taller next to the Bong-soon. I really hope my opinions do not anger some like crazy fans, because I'm really not trying to criticize anyone. I'm just literally sharing my opinion and how I felt about the drama. So yeah, don't take nothing I say to heart. In terms of cinematography, I was very impressed with the special effects team. I thought they made the times when the Bong-soon exerted a lot of strength very natural. Also, the fight scenes were really well choreographed. In terms of soundtracks, I thought they were nice. There wasn't any that stood out to me the most apart from the soundtrack that played at the beginning of my video. It's the Superpower Girl song. I thought it was so catchy and rocky and just like, yeah, you go girl. In terms of miscellaneous little things, man, I loved Do Bong-soon's mom's fashion. Oh my god, if you guys pay a little bit of attention to how she's dressed, it's like an entire rainbow mashed together without regard to any color combinations or anything. She's gonna be wearing like blue socks with red trousers and a yellow shirt and like a green cardigan. She was all over the place and I loved it. So bold, so like ajuma, but like fashion ajuma style. I don't even know. She made me giggle every time I saw her new outfit. Another thing that has to do with fashion And the episode number 5 was Andepyo's obnoxiously huge striped turtleneck. I mean, what is this? I know Koreans love their turtlenecks. Yeah, I got nothing to say. I'm just gonna leave this here. In episode number 9, the fighting scene was amazingly well choreographed. I wrote it down in my notes in bold capitals. Hats off to whoever was involved in the creation of that scene. Yet in that same scene, I was very confused about Andepyo's injury. It looked like he covered the Bong-soon from the front, exposing his back to whoever was stabbing him, but then his wound ended up being on his stomach. That was very strange to me. Also, the Bong-soon's reaction doesn't make sense. Call the ambulance. Oh my god, what's up with Korean people in Korean dramas not knowing what to do when someone is injured? You call an ambulance, you get them to safety, you stop the blood, you just do all these things that they do not do, and they just sit there and cry and hug them oh, you're gonna die. No, he's not going to if you do something. Alright, this is what I wrote for episode number 10. Some people may find it endearing how she just wants to have a normal job and colleagues and stuff, but what Min-yeok is saying isn't wrong. She will be bullied for being stupid. Does she even know how to code? Is she smart enough? Does she have relevant experience? Why does working with him seem so terrible? He isn't a bad guy. I don't know. It's a bit too much. So the reason why the Bong-soon started working for Andepyo in the beginning was in order to get a position in his company in a strategic development department, if I'm not mistaken. She's never worked with video games before. She's never developed anything before. It is tough working in companies out there. It felt like the writers were focusing on the wrong thing. They were glorifying the Bong-soon's behavior, and they were making An Min-yeok into a bad guy who was just not letting her do what she loves to do. But then they didn't think about, does she have qualifications to do it? Is she fit to do it? Those kind of things. Wow, I'm thinking way too deeply into the drama. In episode number 11, I was a bit confused why everyone was making a big deal about Andepyo's birthday. You can just look it up on Google. Oh, wait, I mean on Naver. It is simple. He's a CEO of a big company. His birthday would be on Naver. Trust me. Episode number 14 had probably the most romantic moment in this entire drama, where the Bong-soon had the bomb on her and then Andepyo couldn't get to her, so he just stayed there willing to die together with her. That was really cute and sweet. You probably thought I was gonna say that, did you? Yeah, no, to me that was really dumb. And it wasn't his decision to stay with her that was dumb, it was his inaction. Okay, I get it, you're banging on the door so hard, your hand is bleeding, but still your loved one is behind and they have a bomb. I would break my legs, break every single part of my body to knock that door down. I don't know, it just felt like at some point he was just alright, we're gonna die, I'm just gonna slide down the door and say nice things to you. No. Also, what's up with those fireworks? It was a bomb, not fireworks. What is just even going on? That was the romantic part, that if this would have happened a little bit earlier in the drama, I would have been nope, closing my laptop, never watching that drama ever again. That was too much. How much romance do you need that you turn a bomb into fireworks? And the last comment I made was, is it me or are Korean dramas turning way more perverted than I thought? I noticed that a lot of jokes in this drama were a lot more mature than I was used to in other Korean romantic dramas, which was actually quite refreshing. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to be very extremely sexual or perverted in terms of humor, but having 27-year-olds who are grown-up adults kind of making jokes about these things, I think it's normal, and I think it's nice to have Koreans portray that in dramas. Finally, your society's growing up! Oh, that's so cute! Keep it up, guys, but keep the innocence. That's what really separates you from the rest of the world and their cinematography. With that said, that is it for today's review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought about this drama. Did you agree with my comments? Did you not? Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion in the comment section. You guys are really good at that. And yes, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you're staying happy and healthy, and I will see you all later this week. Bye. 안녕.